welcome to Science Lab. The signs are happening because Jesus is coming. Every day we are seeing some of the great signs that are happening around us. Today we are going to see some of the disastrous events that are taking place around the world.
In the month of July, more than 200 people died and thousands were displaced as an unusual heavy monsoon season brought flooding and landslides, leaving devastation across India, Nepal, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Torrential rains also triggered unprecedented floods and landslides in the southeast China, displacing 77,000 people and affecting more than 20 million.
North America has its share of heavy rain too, leaving Washington and Pittsburgh swamped, and engulfing New Orleans, turning streets into rivers that swept away dozens of cars and forced many to paddle their way in kayaks. The heat wave that affected some parts of Europe were overshadowed by violent storms, flash flooding and mudslides throughout the region, including Spain, Romania, France and Austria. But this was just a day in the park of Italy. Severe weather in the country brought apocalyptic hailstorm, flash floods that swept away cars like toys, and winds so fierce that uprooted large trees, leaving behind all sorts of devastation.
Several intense earthquakes took thousands by surprise around the world this month. A 5.7 magnitude in Iran, 6.6 magnitude in Western Australia, 7.3 magnitude in eastern Indonesia, 5.3 magnitude in the capital of Greece. But the most significant ones took place in Southern California, a 6.3 magnitude, considered the most intense in decades, only to be eclipsed by a 7.1 magnitude earthquake the following day, and raising fears of the big one. Now, let's see the signs of disasters happening around the world in July 2019.
On July 1, 2019, at around 3 p.m. local time, extremely rare large tornado hit southern Taiwan. 2 people were hurt, several houses were destroyed, and more than 7,000 households were left without power in villages in southern Taiwan after a tornado ripped throughout the area. On July 1, 2019, a powerful hailstorm hit Lappeenranta in Finland, flooding the streets with river of hailstone and covering the city in a thick layer of ice. The winter landscape appeared was particularly astonishing given that area rest of Europe continues to suffocate in a record-breaking heat wave. On July 1, 2019, a garbage truck plunged into a massive sinkhole in the Italian city of Naples, sparking the evacuation of several homes nearby. Much of the vehicles were left buried under the dirt and puddles as a result of the collapse. The drivers were rescued by firefighters and taken to a local hospital. The giant sinkhole in Naples measured about 26 feet wide and 40 feet deep. 375 millimeters of rain come down non-stop for 24 hours in Mumbai, India on July 1, 2019. It was the heaviest July downpour seen in India's financial capital for 45 years. The annual monsoon rains crippled the city of 18 million. Streets were waterlogged, rain and air traffic was disrupted. Rain-related incidents have killed at least 20 people. Nearly 275 kilometers south of Mumbai, a small dam collapsed after the heavy rains, leaving more than 11 people killed and over 10 still missing. Around 700 people were rescued from a train stranded in monsoon water on the outskirts of India's financial capital, Mumbai, a railway official said on July 27, 2019. Local media reported that the passengers had been stranded on the Mahalakshmi Express train in Badalpur region since July 26, 2019, as waterlogging triggered by incessant rain covered the railway tracks and partially submerged the train. All passengers were removed from the train and members of the NDRF as well as India's Air Force and Navy helped in the rescue efforts. On July 1, 2019, major flooding occurred in Uttendorf, Austria. Heavy rain led to flooding of village.
On July 3, 2019, a volcano on the Italian island of Stromboli erupted, releasing hot magma in a powerful explosion, killing one person and enveloping the popular tourist destination in ash.
On July 3, 2019, huge volcanic eruptions on the Italian holiday island of Stromboli erupted like a nuclear bomb, killing at least one people and sending tourists dividing into the sea to escape burning rocks. Navy boats were sent to the island for a potential mass evacuation as the eruption continued to send clouds of ash into the night sky. Around 70 tourists and locals have already fled.
A rare tornado that hit Taiyuan, Thailand in northeast China's Liaoning province on July 3, 2019, has killed 6 and injured 120 as of press time.
An industrial zone in the Taxi district of Gayuan was the most severely hit, with private vehicles unturned and windows in residential compounds shattered. Power in some areas of Taxi district was also cut by the extreme weather. Multiple trees were uprooted at a highway in the city. On July 4, 2019, a 6.4 magnitude earthquake rattled Southern California, USA, and officials said it was the largest to hit the region in 20 years. The quake struck near the city of Ridgecrest, which is located about 160 million northeast of Los Angeles. A city in the hospital was evacuated, and officials are assessing structural damage to the building. The following day, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck much of California, cracking buildings, setting fires, breaking roads, and causing several damages, while seismologists warned that the area aftershocks were expected to continue for days, if not weeks. On July 4, 2019, a massive sinkhole swallows car in Woodbridge, Virginia, USA. Video and photos from the scene showed the sinkhole in the shoulder of Princedale Drive. extending across the entire roadway. On July 7, 2019, hailstones the size of tennis ball hit south-central France. One video captured a swimming pool that looked as though it was boiling due to the massive hailstones falling into the water.
We have seen many disastrous things happening around us, but there is more. Don't go anywhere, we'll meet you after a short break. Welcome back to Science Lab. The science are happening because Jesus is coming. From July 6 to 10, 2019, tornado, apocalyptic hailstorms, floods hit Italy from Pescara to Milan, uprooting large trees and sweeping cars away like toys as trees turn into rivers.
Oddio, non ci credo. Oddio. Qua. La moto. La macchina.
Meanwhile, in the Far East, torrential rains and the flooding in the southeast China wash away houses and displaced 77,000 people from July 7 to 10, 2019.
More than 1,600 houses collapsed, over 7,900 were damaged to varying degrees, and over 20 bridges were damaged, causing a direct economic loss of 2.69 billion yuan. Iran has been rocked by massive 5.7 magnitude earthquake on July 8, 2019. The swallow quake also felt in Iraq, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, killed one person, injured more than 100, devastated buildings and streets, and disrupted water and power infrastructures. On July 8, 2019, several hailstorm and torrential floodings in Valencia, Spain, leaves one dead and town underwater. Residents couldn't believe their eyes when a sudden and gigantic downpours burst the bank of the local Sidacos River, flooding streets and local shopping centers, as well as dragging cars through the streets. Railways and motorways near Tafela had to stop operating as a result of the extreme downpour. Many of drivers caught in traffic were rescued from their cars by emergency services as they were at risk of being swept away. On July 8, 2019, nearly 1 month of rainfalls in 24 hours in Washington, D.C., USA. Videos have surfaced on social media in which the raging water floods turned roads into rivers. Several water rescues were performed as high waters overflowed the road. July 10, 2019, massive floods have inundated the streets of downtown New Orleans, USA. As heavy thunderstorms hit the region, local authorities declared a flash flood emergency and urged residents to stay off the road and look for higher ground. As torrential rains flooded New Orleans, citizens of the city took to their phone camera to film the devastating effects of the floods. Some videos showed that the people were forced to use kayaks to move along the streets, which had turned into rivers. Cars parked outside were almost submerged as a result of their heavy precipitation. The floods were also accompanied by another terrifying natural phenomenon, a waterspout that was caught on camera by residents of the city. Six tourists have died and at least 30 more were injured as a violent storm battered a popular tourist region in northern Greece late on July 10, 2019. Abandoned cars, motorbikes, and possessions littered a beach in Halkidiki, which was affected by gale force winds, heavy rains, and hailstorms. The weather event has been described as unprecedented by local media. The Adriatic coast in Italy was hit by storms on July 10, 2019, with many people in Pescara injured by hailstones as big as oranges. At least 18 people, including a pregnant woman, was hurt by hailstones as big as orange in Pescara in Abruzzo. The other people suffered bruises and other injuries, many to the head, and all had to have stitches. The hail damaged cars, smashing windscreen and windows, and roofs in the Abruzzo coastal resort. A 3-meter-long stranded whale dies after washing ashore in Mughla, Turkey on July 10, 2019. A highly decomposed carcass of a 40-foot whale washed ashore in Palghar, Mumbai, India on July 10, 2019.
Parts of Pennsylvania saw over 4 inches of rain on July 11, 2019, triggering flash floods and mudslides. 2 people reportedly died after the vehicle was swept away by floodwaters.
deteriorated on July 11, 2019 as it spread to 17 districts affecting 4.23 lakh people, with many rivers flowing above the danger level in various places. According to the Assam State Disaster Management Authority, 3 people were killed in rain and flood-related incidents.
On July 12, 2019, over 30 people have been killed and more than 130 buildings have been collapsed, following days of torrential rainfall that triggered mass floods and landslides across Nepal and 2 northern Indian states. A total of 8,69,024 people, including women and children, have been affected by the floods. On July 12, 2019, flood situation has deteriorated in 10 districts in the north, northeast and hill regions amid continued downpour in Bangladesh as well as neighboring India. At least 3 children drowned. Thousands of people remain stranded in the flood-affected districts as road communications have been snapped by floodwater. As officials said, the water has risen 86 centimeters over the safe level. As bruce fire of the Hawaiian island of Maui forced the evacuation of thousands of residents on July 11, 2019, as firefighters struggled to contain the blaze. Officials on Hawaiian Maui Island say a wildfire has burned over 4,000 hectares and forced thousands of people to evacuate. A flesh-eating bacteria killed a Tennessee man 48 hours after visiting a Florida beach, USA. According to a post from the man's daughter, the man started feeling ill about 12 hours after being in the water near Destin Beach. The man died on July 7, 2019, 48 hours after swimming in Florida.
Before his death, burial, and resurrection, the Lord Jesus Christ was sitting on the Mount of Olives, and his disciples came to him privately and asked, "Tell us when these things will be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" For that, the Lord Jesus Christ lists out things that will take place before his coming.
And Jesus answered and said to them, "And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows."
What is mentioned in the Bible that are going to take place in the end times are taking place in our lifetime. All these changes in the nature show us that indeed we are living in the last days. Lord Jesus Christ is coming back again very soon. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to tune into Science Lab next time.
Continue watching Science Lab in English as well as in Tamil. Send us photos, videos, news, and YouTube links which are worth sharing. And also send us your feedbacks to our email address sciencelab@angeltv.org. Suppose if you have missed any of the episodes, do not worry, you can watch it again and again in our Science Lab YouTube page. But do not forget to like, share, and comment on the video.
Ask your friends and relatives to watch the Science Lab so that they will know that we are living in the last days. Remember, signs are happening because Lord Jesus is coming. Maranatha.